Hi, welcome back to Grains in Small Places, and today we're going to be doing a recipe over 2 different days. So tonight I'm going to be using our sourdough starter Bubbles, and we're going to use him to mix up a few ingredients, and then we'll mix a couple ingredients up tomorrow and I'll show you what we're going to be making. It's going to be a sourdough strawberry cupcake with buttercream icing. So let me show you how we do that. Recording. Okay, to get started, I like to brew a glass of tea, and then I'm going to mill the flour. And I chose to use soft white wheat for these cupcakes. I milled 1 1/3 cup of the whole berries, which is 280 grams, and this should give me about 2 cups of fresh milled flour. I'll take that tea that we brewed a little bit earlier and add that to my flour. I just want to make sure it's not too terribly hot. I don't want it to kill my sourdough starter. Probably needs to be under 110 degrees Fahrenheit. We want to make sure that we keep our sourdough starter nice and happy. You could even brew strawberry tea if you wanted to enhance the strawberry flavor. I'm also going to add a 1/2 cup of this extra light olive oil and a 1/2 cup of my starter. I'm going to mix all the ingredients together until there is no dry flour left, and I'm going to cover it with cling film and let it sit on my counter overnight. This will help the sourdough starter to break down the gluten and the flour and just work its magical powers. And now that we've used some of our sourdough, we want to make sure that we feed him again. So I went ahead and milled a little more flour so that I would have some to feed Bubbles, my sourdough starter. I'm just going to do about equal amounts by weight of filtered water and fresh milled flour. And then I usually just use whatever amount of sourdough starter I have left after I use it in a recipe. Just stir that around. I like to put it in a clean jar and mark it. That way I know what it is. Nobody tries to throw it away. They all know this is Bubbles, don't touch. I'm actually still working on a sourdough loaf with 100% fresh milled flour. It's been something that it's been in the making for probably over a year to try to get it right. I don't have it perfected, but I have it out enough that I think I feel comfortable enough to post it. So keep your eye out for that. It'll probably be part of my Make Bread 365 challenge that I'm doing. I'm challenging myself to buy less bread products at the store. It's an Instagram challenge, but I'm doing it here on YouTube. And I just want to make sure I put the lid on not super tight. I still want some air to get in here. Your sourdough starter does need to have airflow. Okay, and now it's the next day, and Matt decided to help me by chopping up the fresh strawberries. So I'm going to work on the cupcake batter. So to my cupcake batter, I'm going to add 1 3/4 cup of sugar. I have this raw cane sugar. It should be about 180 grams if you're doing it by weight. I'm going to have a link to this recipe below. That way you have it in volume and in weight, so whichever method you prefer to bake with. 2 eggs. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and I love to use my homemade vanilla. It's getting really low. And I'm going to go ahead and mix all of this together to combine. I'm going to add 3/4 cup of whole milk. I like to use this Fairlife milk for my family. And the last thing I'm going to put in is 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And then, well, I guess actually the last thing I'm going to put in is the strawberries. I'm going to put in about 1 cup of diced up fresh strawberries. And we're going to just go ahead and mix that all around. You want to mix it until it's all incorporated and there's no dry flour showing, but you don't want to overmix it or beat it or anything like that, because that can cause your cupcakes to be tough. Also, don't forget when you subscribe to this video in YouTube to click the little notification bell. That way you'll know as soon as I post a new video. And after you put the baking soda in, you can even start to see it rising in the bowl. This is what helps our cupcakes to rise. It's going to be the acid from the sourdough starter mixed with this baking soda, and the reaction that we're going to get is our rise. So these are probably the most moist cupcakes I've ever had. The fresh strawberries kind of just melt into the rest of the batter after they're baked, so it just tastes like strawberry mixed all throughout. It's perfect for spring and summer when strawberries are in season, but it also makes a really cute Valentine cupcake idea, as I'll show you here in a little bit when we go to frost and garnish them. And check me out on Facebook. I post all of my videos there. I also post all of my blog posts that has all of my recipes. I have a ton of recipes on my blog at grainsandsmallplaces.net. I'll put a link to that blog site below also. And I'm going to line my cupcake tin with liners. And I found these cute little red liners. They were actually, dare I say, on sale after Christmas. So they were just red foil liners, and I just thought they were cute. Thought they would make great Valentine strawberry cupcake holders. So I got them. And the best news is they were on sale for under $1. I'm going to use my 1/4 cup measuring cup to scoop out the batter here. I find that just under a 1/4 cup is about the perfect amount of batter to put into each one of these wells. And you want to make sure to preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And these cupcakes are going to bake somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes. In my oven, I usually let them go to 18 minutes, but you want to make sure you can put your toothpick in and pull it out and have no wet batter on it. That's how you know they're done and finished baking. Okay, and the first round's done. I have 2 more rounds to go. I'm just going to let these sit in my pan for about 5 to 10 minutes to cool, and then I will take them off and put them on a cooling rack and start the next round. If I had a larger oven, I could probably do more than one at once. And while these are baking, I'm going to go ahead and make the frosting. So last night I went ahead, when I mixed up all of the ingredients, I pulled out 3 sticks of butter, which is about 1.5 cups of butter. And I want it to be nice and soft. That's why I like to pull it out the night before. And I'm going to go ahead and whisk that in my stand mixer here. And then to that, I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of that vanilla extract. And if you're using unsalted butter, I recommend to put about 1/4 teaspoon of salt in there. And then you're going to use somewhere between about 3 to 4 cups of powdered sugar. This is dependent on your desired sweetness level. So just give it a taste after you put about the 3 cups in. See if you like it, if it needs to be sweeter or not. If so, add some. If not, you're good to go. You can go wild here. I struggled with what kind of icing I wanted to put on these for this video, and I figured just a simple vanilla buttercream would go really well with these cupcakes. But you could add cream cheese to this. It would kind of give you that cheesecake-ish vibe. You could also add chocolate to it, or lemon, or even some of the cut up strawberries inside, or strawberry powder. Just let your imagination go wild. You can use whatever frosting you want to use. Leave a comment down below and let me know what frosting you would like to try with it. And then if the frosting seems a little bit thick, you can always add just a little bit of whole milk. Don't add too much, but a little bit, probably up to a tablespoon, would work great and make this easier to pipe also. And you want to keep whipping this until it gets nice and fluffy. And don't forget to scrape down the sides every so often. That way you're making sure that all of the powdered sugar and all of the butter are getting incorporated evenly. And I got this little piping bag set for Christmas, actually. So we're going to try this out. Matt really likes to play with frosting, so I generally will let him do the frosting. As you guys all know, if you've been watching me for a while, I'm not great at the decorations, but they sure taste good. You can see how silky smooth this frosting is as Matt's putting it in the bag here. And once all the cupcakes are baked and all the cupcakes are completely cool, you don't want to put the icing on when they're hot or it will start to melt. Then you can start piping the icing on. You can use a Ziploc bag. I did that for years. Just use a Ziploc bag and cut the corner off. But these little piping bags do make it a little bit more convenient to add the frosting on. I can put a link to these little disposable piping bags if you're interested. They were actually pretty inexpensive. And then to finish these off for Valentine's Day, we decided to slice up strawberries and put them on top for the garnish. And Matt surprised me. They're so cute. They were really cute. He made the strawberries into little hearts. So what a perfect Valentine cupcake idea. He's so romantic. And I just wanted to show you the inside, how moist and delicious this cupcake really is. Thank you so much for joining me as we made these cute little Valentine cupcakes. I love how Matt cut the strawberries into little hearts. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe. That way you can find out what content we're putting out next. And don't forget to check out my blog at grainsandsmallplaces.net. I'll put a link down in the description. That way you can find this recipe and a whole lot of other recipes. Everything fresh milled wheat. So thank you so much for stopping by Grains and Small Places. Goodbye.